Shalom, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, the Wadi Yahweh, Bashim, Yahushai. These are the days, minutes, hours leading to the return of the one who the world calls Jesus Christ. Now, some things that I've been seeing going on is you got a lot of our people going crazy and doing things that are unwise and uncircumspect over this Charlie Kirk situation. You got them at these different schools, at these different rallies, getting arrested, losing different things over being unwise about this Charlie Kirk situation. Now we do know that the 2/3 of our people, they're going to be running buck wild, but the ones that of us that are in the spirit, that are in the know, the ones that are aiming to be the elect and the 1/3 of Yahweh Shemel Shah, the ones that get to get delivered, you are to use wisdom in these last days, and being at your school and at the campus and going to where they're doing a memorial about the dude and screaming and cussing and inciting fights. That's not using wisdom. So yeah, you got and really they're just using all these different cases and all these different examples to further crack down on free speech, to where it's not as long as you didn't commit violence, you can say what you want. No, it's we don't like it, so you can't say it. MAGA debates how to respond to Kirk's killing. Nearly a week after President Donald Trump called for targeting organizations and blamed the radical left for the killing, the policy response is still very much in flux. How divided some of the president's aides and allies floated a crackdown on hate speech. Here you go. They believe fuels political violence, while others, pointing to Kirk's defense of the First Amendment, have focus on NGOs and left-wing groups they say have long funded violence against Republicans and law enforcement officials. The varying approaches demonstrate how nearly a week after President Donald Trump called for targeting organizations and blamed the radical left for the killing, the policy response is still very much in flux. There are a wide range of options on the table, said a White House official. Not ready to speak about ongoing policy discussions. And the debate over how far to go underscores attention on the right as the administration works to channel the outrage over Kirk's death into a tangible policy response without running afoul free speech champions inside the GOP. The White House official said discussions are focused on targeting organizations that are inciting or funding or organizing violence, including launching investigations into groups and revoking tax-exempt status for those accused of orchestrating illegal doxing campaigns, right? Because that's what they were doing. They were seeing who had anything negative to say about the dude and putting them out, knowing damn well, it's going to try to ruin their lives, because that's how things work now. And arranging drop points for weapons and riot materials, the official pointed to attacks on Tesla dealerships and against immigration officials as examples. It's not about speech, the official said, it's about violence and criminal actions, right? So now all these different things are getting intertwined. So now, you doing these things is an act of violence or whatever. That's what it's seen as. That's what the, that's how they're framing mischief as a law. And they're gonna stop these things from being said at all. So you are, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai, try your best to use wisdom in these last days and try not to move like these different 2/3, get swayed like these different 2/3, because this is only the beginning. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai, these things are going to get worse. More of these different sides are going to get volatile. They're going to say things. They're going to do things. They're going to continue to go after each other. We know what the real end game. We know it's not about no Charlie Kirk. It's not really about none of that. Really, it's about the return of the one of the world called Jesus Christ. We know the real end game of this. The return of Yahweh Shai. So, if you have that spiritual mind, you shouldn't be getting super duper invested in these different verbal and physical skirmishes going on that are going to get very, very physical and violent in these coming weeks, I believe. Really, days. I think this is going to be one of the first weekends after the Kirk situation, right? So we're going to see what's going to happen this weekend. You know, this situation has brought in some prophecy. Matthew 10, verse 16, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves, right? So be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. So that doesn't mean move scared, but at the end of the day, we still are sheep in the midst of wolves. Like that one dude that was telling the National Guard, don't come to Chicago. We got this and we got switches and we got that. And then he was getting backlash and stuff was getting put out there. And then he was like, hold on. I didn't say we. I didn't say yeah, because it's getting real. That's what happens when you come in a carnal mindset. Because remember, we can't win carnally. Even if you're into martial arts or you got you some straps or whatever, your artillery doesn't beat Esau. Remember, that's his blessing. That's his blessing. All the guns and stuff. Which there's nothing wrong with getting into it. I'm into those things as well. But I know that isn't my deliverer. It may be able to help, but it's not going to completely deliver me. The only thing that's going to deliver me is Yahweh Shemel Shah. Because you could have canned food stocked up, you could have this point and this point, whether this happens and this happens, and all those different plans go awry, right? So yeah, at the end of the day, it's all about Yahweh Shemel Shah. So make sure to keep that focus in mind, and just continue to watch and pray, and by Lord's will, be wise and circumspect, and move in a way that'll keep you from subjecting yourself to these different nonsense that's out here, because it's unnecessary. It's about the return, not the little stuff that's in front of it. Let these people worry about these different carnal little stuff, because they don't have the big mindset. They don't see the big picture, which is the return. That's the big picture, not any of this that's going on. Shalom.